Hey guys, I've decided to make this video because there were changes announced on Try and Livestream regarding Beastmaster, and today there was a huge patch on PTS, so I decided to go there and check what's new. And I found some pretty interesting things, so if you are wondering what's new and how the Beastmaster has been changed on PTS, you can watch this video and you'll see. First thing that I noticed is that we get a ranged pet, and it's this awesome looking bird. It looks really amazing. We get few new abilities as well. The first one is the pet summon ability. It's the pet I just showed you. Next is Fury Unleashed, which was moved from 61 spot and was swapped with Enraged. Enraged is now the 61 ability and Fury Unleashed is 48 ability. Next thing is Gaping Wounds, which is an ability that applies all damage over time effects to the enemy and instantly grants you 3 attack points. It's really good. Rest of the abilities, which means 2 defensive Beastmaster cooldowns and Beastmaster flaring power, haven't been changed. Beastmaster is currently one of the most important specs in a 20-man raid. The reason for that is that it has 3 unique abilities that aren't overwritten by anything else, and 2 of them are like unique to only Beastmaster. Those are the defensive cooldowns, command to recover and command to stand ground, and it has a raid boost ability which is called Enrage and lasts 10 seconds every minute. The reason why I wanted to test this spec is to see if those changes that were made affect the DPS in a way that would make this spec either really OP or completely unplayable. So I've decided to test it on a raid boss dummy, and I got help from a friend who was playing Oracle, and he gave me 5% energy buff and the restorative ability that gives energy back as well. One of the things that I forgot to mention about Beastmaster abilities is that Twin Cuts applies the physical and non-physical debuff to the enemy now, which means that the Archon won't have to do it anymore. I really like the idea that they added this new ranged pet, which is this bird, and the reason for that is that the old pet used to be completely melee, and the melee pet got stuck or just didn't want to follow, and that has a huge impact on the DPS of the Beastmaster, because the spec is dependent on the crits from basic attacks of the pet. So if the pet couldn't attack your target and couldn't crit with basic attacks, then you couldn't activate some abilities, which made a huge DPS loss if the pet was just standing somewhere and not doing anything. And that's why I really like the new change. It might help in some certain situations and some bosses where the pet just didn't want to follow. I really like the new ability Gaping Wounds as well. It's because it applies all dots instantly, and it's a very good way to start a fight or when you have to target swap really fast and efficient. And it has 45-second cooldown, which means you use it once, and when the dots are about to fall off you reapply the dots, and when you would reapply the dots for the second time you just don't do it manually, but you use Gaping Wounds ability. It's a really good thing to have, and it will help with some Beastmaster problems, which include dotting many targets and stuff like that. I've decided to parse the usual 48 Beastmaster as well, because I really wanted to compare the DPS of both 48 Beastmaster and 61 Beastmaster. And as you can see in this video, you'll notice that DPS of both spec is really similar, with the 61 Beastmaster being just few K behind. And this is really surprising, because like everybody thought that the new 61 Beastmaster would have really low abysmal DPS and it would ruin the spec, but with the current state of the 61 Beastmaster, it's a really good thing now, and it will most probably be used as a complete substitute for Harb Archon, and the Harb Archon will most probably just be used to have lava field, which will make it have even more points in the Harbinger soul. So we will see, and I hope you enjoyed this video. The DPS comparison is like 75k to 73k. I didn't really bother like doing long parses because there's no point. I just wanted to see if the DPS difference is huge or is it close, and I'm pretty surprised that the 61 Beastmaster can actually deliver really high DPS meanwhile having all the cooldowns that a real support should have, which include two defensive cooldowns, flaring power and enrage. Oh, and the last thing I wanted to point out is that the new 61 Beastmaster is completely energy starved. It's one of the most energy starved specs in this game, and I noticed that even on 2 minutes and 30 pars I got energy starved pretty badly, and the reason for that is that it doesn't have Paragon Flurry ability, which is a really good DPS ability. It's useful for disconnects as well, and it gives energy back. Well, it doesn't give energy back, but it just prevents the energy starvation. And with the 61 Beastmaster you cannot possibly spend enough points into Paragon to get that ability, which makes it a bit harder to play, but we will see. Maybe they will adjust the energy values and it won't get the energy starved so horribly.